Stack is currently asleep in our bedroom right now. So this is probably going to be the quietest video I ever make for this channel. So I do not disturb him because I may or may not have spit in his food and gotten him sick. I did not spit in his food. For the record, I made a joke. Now everyone believes because Stack also got sick, I spit in his food. I did not spit in his food. Okay, squid. I did not fucking do that. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Last Week in Comics, where I talk about the last week in comics. And I know there is something I wanna clear up first, before we actually get into the books I read this week, and that's I know the announcement came out. This is a little bit of the news segment first. Stephanie Williams is doing at least one issue of the mainline Wonder Woman book, issue 29, which comes out in January. And I know I said last week it's likely that she is not. I was like, this seems like a pipe dream to me personally. And I feel like I also mentioned, or I have at least mentioned somewhere, that if this does happen, I don't think it's going to be permanently. We're heading up to a new DC relaunch. It seems silly to put a new writer on the book now. As much as I want Thomas King gone, it seems like DC's not going to let that happen. And then the Stephanie Williams news broke, and everyone was like, oh, thank God, Tom King's off Wonder Woman, finally, perfect, War Criminal's gone, right? And then it turns out from Daniel Sempre, someone asked him about it on Instagram, and he said, no, we still have more stories to plan, so it seems like this is just like a single issue because it is dealing with the Amazons finally meeting the Tom King Nepo baby, Trinity, and, you know, Stephanie Williams right now is writing Warriors of We Wonder, so it makes sense to bring her in. She's also like pretty much the one who revitalized Nubia in mainline comics, so like, yeah, of course she's gonna be there. So like, it does seem like this is just going to be for one issue. So no, I do not have to eat my words. I was right this entire time. It was too good to be true, people. That is being said, if you want to show DC that you want someone like Williams, or Williams herself, on the book, or if you just want Tom King off of it, buy physical copies of issue 29. If you're able to, through your local comic book shop, through places like Amazon, however you read your comics, pre-order the book. Especially if you can do it physically. Physical comics are how DC determines if a book is a success or not, is how much your local comic book shops order it. So, you know, if you have a comic book shop in the area, talk to them. Say that, like, hey, by the way, something really big's happening in issue 29 that, like, you know, a lot of people are going to want to read it. You're going to want to stock it. Or if your comic book publisher, or if your comic book shop does pre-orders, call them up, order online, do whatever you need to do to get this book the numbers that it deserves. I feel like a lot of people talk and say, like, oh, I want to keep this book going, but they don't really fully understand how you do that as a comic book consumer. Obviously, like, for bad books, like, you don't want to give them any press because sometimes DC equates press to sales, or comic book shops equate press to sales and then order more copies, and then it's a whole clusterfuck. But if you do legitimately want this book to do well, pre-order it through your local comic book shop, through any physical means. Tell your local comic book shops to stock it. Tell them it's going to be a big issue. Tell them, you know, you can explain what's happening. A lot of people are hyped that, you know, Stephanie Williams is going to be on Wonder Woman. You don't even have to get into the fact that Tom King is a war criminal. You can just start off by saying, like, Stephanie Williams is a big writer. She has not gotten a mainline Wonder Woman book. It seems like this is the first time, and might lead into her getting the title full time. Like, you can dress it up to get them to sell more issues. I once convinced my local comic book shop to stock extra copies of an unreleased cover of the fucking Hellfire Gala by accident. By just saying accidentally it's Kamala. Like, there are ways to do this, people, especially if you have a good relationship with your comic book shops. I really hope that this goes well, and I hope that in the inevitable relaunch that DC is clearly building up to, while I don't think it's a relaunch of the entire universe, it is going to be a relaunch of their titles. So I really hope that Stephanie Williams gets the new Wonder Woman #1. Especially if, even if it's not because, the whole boycotting Tom King's work worked, and Tom King just decides to go Hollywood. I think him crashing and burning as James Gunn's lackey is better for all of us, really. After that long rant, let's just jump into the books. Let's fucking do it, man. So we're gonna kind of talk about like 3 books as sort of a cluster, starting off with Justice League Unlimited issue 12. So first off, for all of those people who said that like the DC KO tie-in is good, I hope you're eating your fucking words right now. I called it when I said like this event already feels like it's overstuffed, because you're trying to do 2 events in one event book, and then also now you have like 27 different tie-ins. Like this is not encouraging people to get into DC if they want to see the characters fight. This is like doing the exact opposite. It's kind of crazy. And speaking of that, Justice League Unlimited issue 12 is a tie-in comic. Also, yes, I have a White Wingfoot sticker. I sell these, by the way. It's on my Redbubble, which I'll link down below. I have more Johnny Wyatt merch. Oh, I also have like Jack Kirby. I have like joke merch. I have a lot of joke merch. I need to release the Ted Kord Isn't Dead one. Anyway, Justice League Unlimited #12 is a DC KO tie-in. A tie-in that only leads me more questions than I have answers. So, TLDR, what happens? Barbara fucking explodes. let's just get this out of the way right now. Barbara Gordon fucking explodes. And I know you're thinking, like, what do you mean she explodes? I mean, she literally gets caught in an explosion. Okay? And, like, the thing about it is that, like, a lot of Oracle fans specifically were like, hey, because of this explosion, does this mean that the chip is gone? It seems like that might be what they're leading into, especially because we're getting Oracle Year 1 soon. I think with, because, DC Comics is always going to try and keep up with whatever the DCU is doing. I do think that the DCU in general is leading more into Barbara being Oracle than they are Barbara being Batgirl. So I'll take the wins when we can get them. And then Ted's there. Ted's there to be exposition man. All he's doing is giving exposition. I could not tell you a single word he said, but it's basically catching you up on like all the shit with DCKO and the fact that all their heavy hitters are gone. And because of this, and because of all the dimensional rifts and portals and shit being open, Mr. Terrific decides to create his Terrific 10, which has nothing to do with a certain other team that has a number in their name and was often compared to Mr. Terrific's other team, the Terrifics. And so someone pointed this out, but when Mr. Terrific came in, he came in at during JSA in 1999, which was possibly the most diverse Justice Society ever made. They were going closer and closer into getting a more diverse team. That's when we saw the female Arrow Man. That's when I think Khalid was shortly after that. You had the addition of Stargirl. Black Canary was on the team a lot more consistently. Hawkgirl. You did have this very diversity first team, including Mr. Terrific himself. And then every single other team that they have given him has been majority white people. Terrific's all white people. The Terrific 10, now also all white people. And they're all time displaced versions of themselves, so it's everyone's whatever. Especially when it comes to Aquaman, who's still sad over the fucking bubble baby. The two big ones on that list who have caused probably the most controversy has been Tim Drake as Batman Beyond, which I'm sorry, Tim Drake fans. I would not want my favorite associated with that series at all. That seems like a death wish. Like that seems like it seems like you want to cause Tim Drake fans as much pain as possible. So you have that, and then you have Owl Woman, not related to Nightman, Night Owl from Watchmen. No, this Owl Woman is a Grant Morrison Grant Morrison and I think Frank Quietly creation. I think it has something to do with it. It's not Pax Americana, but it's something very similar to Pax Americana. Because Grant Morrison wants Alan Moore's nachos, I guess. So, and the funny thing about Owl Woman is that there's an earlier Owl Woman that exists that's from like 1930 something, and she looks nothing like this one, who clearly looks like Night Owl from the fucking Watchmen. So, all around, terrible job being done at DC right now. I don't like Grant Morrison. I don't like the vast majority of his work. I will admit I have not read Animal Man yet, but like the work I have read of him, I don't like. Including, I think, Pax Americana. I'm pretty sure you fucking did Pax Americana. I fucking hated it. Yeah, of course it was fucking Grant Morrison. I don't even know why I had to, like, ask that to myself. Like, yeah, I don't like Grant Morrison because he has no remorse for how he has ruined Talia's image and continued to promote anti-Arab stereotypes. But I also just don't like his writing. So you just don't fuck with me, Grant Morrison fans. I know you don't read most of his work either. I've probably read more Grant Morrison than you have, and that's not including fucking Animal Man. Anyway, read Rachel Pollack's Doom Patrol. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, okay. Justice League Unlimited issue 12. Oh my god, I forgot about, oh yeah, also, in this time, Displaced Team, which, again, was only really on the JLI fans' radar, was Guy Gardner is now back as Warrior, and, you know, he confronts Tora, and Tora's like, we're not together anymore, dude. What the fuck? And Guy's like, oh, okay, bye. Right before he says that, he's like, B, stop getting in our business unless you want to join us. And it's like, whoa, Guy. Whoa. I think that overall the scene would have been better if it was Gal Gardner. Gal Gardner as the Warrior. Okay, that's the other thing that fucking confuses me. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I probably have not read as much Guy Gardner Warrior stuff as I should. But like the suit that they gave him seems to be the Guy Gardner suit from his solo series when he had the yellow ring combined, and you just slap the Warrior logo on it. I don't know what we're doing here anymore. Especially with the ending of this comic where you see Batman start to break out because he had like an apocalyptic suit on, like from Apocalypse, and he's able to break out of his of the like encasing that they have all the heroes who got defeated, or all the heroes who have died is in, and that's kind of leading to Nightfall, which I'm never gonna fucking review because fuck Batman, I don't like him. But I do have the question, okay, so like Batman's able to break out. Okay, so like there's this lineup. Okay, it's Shazam, Jaime Reyes, Batman, Black Canary, Ambush Bug. I don't know why Ambush Bug is there. We're not focusing on that, or the fact that I don't think he should be able to die like this. We're not focusing on Ambush Bug right now. Jaime Reyes, though. Jaime Reyes, Kaji Da. Kaji Da's, like, main thing, you know, obviously he is the Scarab. He always needs a host. So, in order to do that, he constantly is trying to keep Jaime alive. So, like, why can't Kaji Da do it? Why can't Kaji Da do it? He is magic, he is alien, he is magic and alien. Why can't Kaji Da do it? Why don't we have fucking, Blue Beetle, Beetle Fall, or whatever. No, they're calling it Night Fight, fuck. Blue Beetle, Beetle Ball. Yeah, we're calling it fucking Beetle Ball. That's... Stack's gonna watch back this video. Stack is asleep right now. Usually Stack's like off to the side and is watching me do this and giving me notes while I'm doing this. Stack is currently asleep in our bedroom. Stack is gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, pull up that picture we made of Crypto Duncan on someone. I still have it. We'll be fine. Yeah, okay, so we have this team, right? Okay, we have this team. And then also, on the other hand, we have the Legends of Tomorrow with the Legend that also has a Batman Beyond. So, like, what the fuck are we doing here? I think that there's too many fucking teams right now. Which is not something I would have said, like, maybe, like, a couple months ago. But, like, now it's like, what the fuck is happening? This event is giving me a headache already, and it's not even getting close to being over, especially because, like, by the way, if you don't want to know who wins each issue of DCKO, don't look at the solicits, because they keep spoiling it every single time they release a new one. And it's like, oh my god. However, and this is kind of a spoiler, kind of not a spoiler, it seems like I was right when I put all my money on Zatanna. I might have been fucking right. I might have been on to something there. I might have been on to a lot of things there. Speaking of, losing the game of are my faves being treated correctly this week, we have Superman issue 31. I skimmed through this issue. I did see the big thing at the end is really, it's Clark saying goodbye to his family before he's entered into the tournament. But the big thing at the end is Superwoman is coming back because Superboy Prime crash landed, Lois found him, and then she got hit by sun energy, and I guess now Superwoman's back. Okay, I guess if that's what we're doing here. Okay, I guess that this is something that we can technically do. Whatever. Okay. If you're wondering, what the fuck is happening with Booster? Because he's been in Superman a lot. He's not really in any other book. So where the fuck is he? He's in exactly one panel. One panel. That's it. That's all he's in this week. An event that totes itself as being surrounded by being entirely about Booster Gold. He is in one fucking panel. Comics, am I right? That's all I have to say about Superman issue 31. I know Superman as a series has been going on really well. I just personally, Superman's another one of those, like, I stop caring once, like, certain characters are out of his book. Like, once Kara spun off into her own book, I stopped caring about mainline Superman. And also, John's technically getting his own book, but it's written by Jeremy Adams, so I don't care, and he's also not been in it. And with that, I'm going to go to my last Are My Faves Being Treated Correctly book, which is New History of the DC Universe, which also just ended. The series has been a clusterfuck, up which that everyone could have predicted, knowing how well index books go. I do feel like, again, and now that the series has ended, I do feel like that this is like, I know everyone's like, oh, of course it's going to be an oversimplification. Like, how much of the DC history can you fit into 4 issues? They didn't have to make it 4 issues. They specifically chose to make it 4 issues, and they just didn't give a fuck. They could have extended it out to 5, for fuck's sake. And it's 6, fucking 12, like, literally any other number besides 4. Because then, like, you skip over major parts of both DC's history as a comic book company and the internal DC history. Like, one of the things I noticed, and no one else probably did because no one's reading this book, even the people who are praising it, is that Stephanie Brown's, like, first mention in fucking 3 issues. Mind you, Stephanie Brown, first female Robin. Stephanie Brown, third Batgirl, also with, like, one of the longest running series. Like, again, like, Stephanie Brown's Batgirl run is enough to fit, like, two compendiums. Like, she's been Batgirl for a hot minute. She was the Batgirl, up until the New 52. The only mention we have of her. I think she might have been on a Robin page, but they didn't really focus that much on her. The only mention we have of her is in this last issue, where it just seems like they're trying to catch up with whatever DC's doing right now currently, and they have her and Cassandra in the low bottom, and they were like, oh, they formed the Batgirls, and it's like, huh? Now that I think about it, I don't even know if Cassandra might have gotten like an actual page. I swear to God, I think she might have. But Stephanie fucking didn't, so fuck. I'm sorry, you have like Stephanie is also the one character to both be a hero before she was Robin. Hold both the Robin and Batgirl titles. I feel like she should get more mentions during this, especially for such a bat-centric company like DC. Yeah, I think the treatment of Stephanie might be emblematic of everything that I hate about this like entire mini. That and Rip Hunter finally got like a non-cyborg mention. Right real quick at the end. Where they show a panel of Time Masters 1990, despite the fact that Time Masters 1990 takes place in 1990, and you can tell that by who's on the fucking JLI, or not JLI, but JLA. That book is concretely in the 90s. It should have been mentioned way prior, if not even earlier than that, because a reminder, Rip Hunter is a character who predates Booster Gold. He's been there since 1950. I feel like our first mention of it shouldn't be in issue 4 of this fucking book. But whatever. And it's really funny because Ion, like, right before this, asked, like, Mark Waid, like, hey, like, at a con, hey, are we going to see Rip Hunter? And it's this. This is all we fucking get. This is not a good week in the House of Blue and Gold. It's not. You know, Jaime's fucking dead. Ted's exposition man. Booster, one panel. Rip? God. Fucking Gold Beetle gets more of a focus than he does. God. It sucks. It sucks right now. I like Mark Waid as a person. I don't really care for him as a writer sometimes. And that is someone who has read a lot of fucking Mark Waid's work between both companies. Sometimes he just misses and it's bad. It's not nearly as bad as some other misses, but it is, like, you're expecting more from him, you know? We're going to talk about Absolute Wonder Woman before I go on to the next sort of, like, chunk of, comics I didn't read. I'm going to be honest, I did kind of, just because I've been sick, I did kind of skip through this issue. I had to do a little refresher real quick. Essentially, Wonder Woman's chasing after the sort of, like, blue magic that's been popping up everywhere, and then at the end it reveals that, like, oh, it's actually you're fighting yourself. And I can't tell, because, okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of, like, solicit spoilers for my later segment, because I feel like it's important to talk about this now instead of, like, waiting until after. But issue 16 of Absolute Wonder Woman is going to officially debut Absolute Zatanna. As you can see right here, she looks fucking sick as hell. But if you notice something very particular about her, she has blue magic. We're doing the whole blue versus red thing. And so I'm, like, wondering, like, is this issue of Absolute Wonder Woman going to lead up to her facing Absolute Zatanna? Because we're only on issue 13. Issue 14 is, I think issue 14 is Batman crossover. And then we have, like, 2 more until we get to issue 16. Or then we have issue 15, and then we have issue 16, which I do believe issue 15 is also going to either be still the Absolute Batman crossover, or it's going to be a Zatanna. And so I also feel like with where the Absolute Batman crossover is being placed, like, it would be a good build up to Zatanna, because those two have, like, a connection together as well. So, like, this is where my thought process has been going with Absolute Wonder Woman. I'm enjoying every second of it. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me twisted. But I'm like, holy shit, we're not even, like, getting close to being done with the series, and I cannot be any more grateful for it. love Kelly Thompson's vision with Wonder Woman in this version of the character specifically. I don't know if I would like Kelly Thompson on a Wonder Woman book, especially with the added benefit of we have the chance to have Stephanie Williams be on Wonder Woman. I would take Stephanie Williams over like most fucking writers in the industry right now. Let me tell you, I've read a lot of Stephanie Williams' book. You would have to be Mariko fucking Tamaki to make me to make me prefer you over Stephanie Williams. That's how serious it is. But that being said, I'm really excited to see where this series is going. We're already 30 minutes in, and I have to do a couple of announcements because January solicits release, so we're just gonna end it there. Go read Absolute Wonder Woman. It's a fucking amazing book. Okay, now on to books I actually didn't read. Let's start off with Green Lantern, actually. So Green Lantern issue 28. You can tell a man's writing this book because of how Carol is not being mad at Hal Jordan, despite the fact that, most of her history is being mad at Hal Jordan for being a fucking flake. Jeremy Adams out of DC. I don't want that MAGA head in my fucking comic. Get him the fuck out. And this is not a good... And speaking of good Green Lantern books, Green Lantern Dark issue 7 just released. Or at least it released on pirating sites. I feel like this book ended way earlier. It was a very good Green Lantern series. Tate Brombold, who you might know from, Batgirl, has been working on it. It sucks that it got canceled so soon, especially because I feel like Green Lantern is a mythos that, I could honestly use more books on, especially books not starring Hal Jordan, because I fucking hate him. So I do recommend you check this out, especially when it gets taken over to trades. Please show the book some love. It's great. Next up in books that were unrightfully canceled, Green Arrow issue 29. I don't know how many Green Arrow books we have left, but it is kind of sad that both Ollie and Diana's books got taken out together. I do still consider Green Arrow a success story. The fan outreach managed to change this from a 6-issue mini into a 12-issue into a full ongoing. And I wish that just more books would have the chance. That's all I gotta say. Harley Quinn issue 55. Oh, I forgot Fire and Ice were in this one. Yeah, Fire and Ice, just really fucking good friends. Daystar sent me panels of it, and we've had so many Fire and Ice, panels through, the past, couple, weeks, months, whatever. And I'm just, I feel like I've gotten numb to it. No one gets Fire and Ice, especially anyone who has a B profile picture on Twitter.com. If you can't accept that sometimes your favorite character can lead into very racial stereotypes, then you cannot be a fan of that character. That's all I gotta say about that. That was a weird segue into this. Okay, next up, The Flash, issue 26. If I remember correctly, this entire... Oh, fuck, it's Impulse this time. Yeah, this is another DC KO tie-in. This one specifically written by Mark Waid. I guess we're into, the Impulse, little reboot that he's wanting to do. Yeah, one of Mark Waid's, bigger, earlier books is Impulse, so I'm glad that he's able to start writing for the character again, especially because I feel like with specifically how he writes Impulse with the little speech bubble, or with the little, thought bubbles that, have, the little cartoon versions of himself. I think, that's a very interesting way to write a character, and so I'm happy Mark Waid's back on Impulse. I would honestly read I would read another full Impulse series by him, which is saying something, because I never fucking read The Flash. Okay, Detective Comics 1102? Oh my god, it's another fucking tie-in. Jesus Christ. I feel like for an event where the majority of your heroes are not on Earth, but are not on Earth, but are taken off-world, you cannot have fucking tie-ins. The only time I think that tie-ins, honest to God, worked was, events like Civil War and Civil War 2. It's the only time I have not been pissed off by tie-ins. Okay, and then last but not least on my list, Mortal Legend Batman. I have not heard anything about this book, let me be honest. And that's true of most Batman books. I do kind of feel like this one is because they're finishing their first arc. And also, like, I should probably segue this into actual news that's happening, but next year Dan Mora is going to shorten his list of books that he's working on down to one. And I do believe that if Dan Mora got to choose any book that he continued working on, it would be Immortal Legend Batman. But I do think, like, right now they're still, like, establishing, like, the initial story. So, like, a lot of people who like specific members of the Bat family obviously fell off, especially when some of those members got taken out before the book even started. So yeah, I mean, it's still a good book to check out. I feel like so many people fell off of it, and myself included. I knew that was going to happen. I don't like Batman. Now it's time to talk about the indie releases for this week. From Image Comics, I want to shout out the Universal Monsters, The Invisible Man book. Love. God, I especially like the art on it and, like, the cover specifically, how it's, like, all, like, deconstructed. Universal Monsters, I'm just glad that, like, as a brand, they're able to, like, be revitalized in such a way. Ooh, yeah, from Boom Studios, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Halloween Special, issue 1. Well, it's not issue 1, it's the only issue, but their Halloween special came out. I love a good Halloween special, and I probably am actually going to go read this because Boom Studios Power Rangers books are fucking amazing. If you want to also see more of Dan Mora's work, he did a whole bunch of stuff with Power Rangers. Oh, and then from Dark Horse, if you really like Tate Brombold's work, I do highly recommend you check out their original project, The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos. Right now, currently, they have a mini-series going on called Children of the Night, issue 4. It's good. It's an excellent series. There's only, like, 12 issues of the first series and, like, 4 issues of the mini currently out. It's very easy to pick up and catch on when you're not doing a show about the last week in comics every single fucking week. I like doing this show. Sometimes sickness just wipes you out. Last but not least, from my favorite indie publisher, IDW Comics, we have the reprinting of Monster High World Scare issue 3 happening. The Sonic the Hedgehog Chaotix 30th Anniversary Special issue 1, it's a special. I don't know why they list it as issue 1, but we'll get into my problems with that a little bit later. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures issue 30, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 12, and last but not least, my favorite thing that I've been getting into again recently, Star Trek Voyager Homecoming issue 2, which, I mean, I've been watching DS9. I'm probably not going to watch Voyager. I might watch Enterprise. No, I'm not going to fucking watch Enterprise. Fuck that. I don't know. I like that Star Trek books are being published still, especially to expand the universe in kind of similar ways that Lower Decks did. And I really like Lower Decks, so. Alright, going into announcements. I already talked about Absolute Zatanna. I would like to first off start off by saying Jeremy Adams has personally victimized me once again. So they just announced a DCKO Green Lantern Galactic Slam, which is a one-shot by Jeremy Adams, so don't fucking buy it. I'm reporting on it because I'm doing my due diligence, and also because I fucking hate that this jackass decides to do a fucking, like, oh, we're gonna do the Wrestling Federation. We're gonna do a ring of wrestling from the wrestling... No, there's a fucking wrestling federation. And we're gonna have them go fight. We're gonna put Kyle in there. And, like, I know that Jeremy Adams is racist. I can tell that by just everything about him as a person. Kyle Rayner's a Hispanic man. The only time that he would actually care about WWE would be when Rey Mysterio popped up on screen. He would not care about this Hulk Hogan ripoff that you have made. Rey Mysterio, come on, he's right there. Rey Mysterio is single-handedly one of the most iconic wrestlers of all time, to the point where he has spawned like an entire revitalization of Lucha Libre, and you have this Hispanic character, and you don't give him anything. Fuck you, Jeremy Adams. I hope you get off these books soon. Especially because, like, right now, CMLL, which is the biggest lucha libre company in Mexico, they are continuously hosting shows in Arena Mexico. You have them. You have them. They are willing to do crossovers. They recently did one with Pokemon ZA, specifically for the release of Mega Halucha. You have CMLL. Do you know who CMLL is partnered with? Like, pretty frequently, they trade around people. They trade around belts. CMLL has a very good relationship with AEW, which you are currently sponsoring. Like, you have this Hispanic character who you are doing a wrestling one-shot with, and you don't contact CMLL. That's fucking crazy. I know your fucking Republican ass probably sucks the dick of WWE just like all the other Republicans do, but, like, come on. Not even Triple A. Not even, like, a single Rey Mysterio thing. Ugh, okay. Me getting into wrestling is probably everyone's worst nightmare. Also, in Why Do Terrible People Keep on Getting Books? There's another Wonder Woman book that is coming out that I need no one to buy. It's called Wonder Woman Black and Gold 2025 Special. Because Tom King is on it, unfortunately. So Tom King, Mitch Gerard, Steve Orlando, Alyssa Wong, and unfortunately, Jordi Belair. Alyssa Wong and Jordi Belair I do really like. Which sucks for me to say this, but you cannot buy this fucking book. We need Tom King off of fucking DC Comics entirely. We need to prove to DC his sales, his fucking sucking the dick of the Eisners isn't working anymore. You're like, we can't fucking have him on everything. We shouldn't have him on anything. He helped plan the Iraq invasion. He cheerfully talks about his time in the CIA. He wants to do the Iraq invasion again. Get him out of fucking comics entirely. In actual good announcements, and I say actual good announcements because once I read further into it, I realized, like, oh, this is fine. DC announced their Valentine's Day special, which is DC's Supergirl Next Door, which it seems like they're gonna do, like, a little love story with Kara. That's fine. I was worried that this was going to be a full, like, mini series, and I got really concerned. No, it's just a Valentine's Day special. Where at least one story is going to be focused on Kara, but there's going to be obviously more books, or more stories being announced soon. And I do kind of like how this announcement for it is specifically kind of playing into the sort of rom-com fad that, like, a lot of, like, teenage girls have been going through. I had it when I was in, like, high school. I feel like it's still kind of ongoing because they do say at the end, pick it up this Valentine's Day and place it on the shelf next to all the books you loved before, aka a parody of To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. And I think that's fun. I think it's fine. This book isn't the end of the fucking world. I do kind of want to see who else we're getting for this. But it's going to be good. It's going to be a fun time. I like the holiday specials that DC has been putting out recently. And then probably my first actual, like, this is going to be my first indie announcement. But Blumhouse Films has gotten the rights to Something Is Killing the Children. So we're getting another indie adaptation. I feel like indies always get, like, really good adaptations. So we're getting an adaptation of Something Is Killing the Children. Apparently, in the announcement, it says a movie adaptation and a adult animated series. So I'm interested to see where that goes. I feel like a lot of the indie adaptations that we've been getting, like, you know, The Boys and Invincible, have all been, like, on the superhero genre, so it's nice to see a horror comic getting an adaptation again. I know that it has happened in the past. It's nice to see it continuing, especially for a medium of comics that I don't think gets enough appreciation. So yeah, I'm probably not going to see it because I don't really like horror like that, but I'm excited that something like it exists. That's what I say about most indie stuff. Like, yeah, I'm probably not going to see it. But I'm happy that these options exist for people, you know? I think I'm done talking. I'm still, like, groggy, and as you can see, I'm going a little crazy. So, up here is your next recommended video. Is another episode of Last Week in Comics. Is an episode of Ash and the Fantastic Friends, my live show I do every Saturday, 9 p.m. EST. Is it something else? I don't know. It's a mystery. I don't fucking know. Down here is the rest of the playlist for Last Week in Comics. I've been doing this since November 2024. We're about to officially hit a year of Last Week in Comics soon, which is something I did not expect to say, especially when we're like nearing, we're not really nearing 1,000 subscribers, but we're nearing getting at least some payment from this channel, which is nice. So, yeah. Which brings me to please go subscribe so I can monetize this channel soon. It's just watch hours. So, yeah, go to the other links to watch my live show. Subscribe because I have more stuff coming. I'm working on the Wyatt Wingfoot video essay. Trust me, it's happening. Go down below to, I have links down there to other stuff I do. There are videos everywhere. Go watch more of my videos, please. I'll also have my Redbubble link down there, because I make fun merch sometimes. Alright, and cut.